Call the meeting to order. All present and accounted for. Nice to see everyone. I've been gone.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Anyone have any additions or subtractions, I guess, from the agenda? If not, I would look for a motion to approve the agenda as shown.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Pat, seconded by Jerry. Further discussion? All in favor of the approval of the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is carried. Approval of the minutes from the last meeting, June 25. Everyone had a chance to look it over?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Motion by Brenda, seconded by Kurt. Any other conversation, discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Yes, speak louder.
That is carried.
Clear. Not louder, clear.
Oh, sorry.
Scheduled presenters? We have none.
I love it.
We'll move down to the finance report. We don't have a Davison willing to do that, so...
I'll take care of that
All right.
tonight. You know, and we'll keep this kind of simple tonight. It's July. It's one of those things. The year's just starting off. We're getting all of our new money. But we'll start with the first page and look at our cash flow worksheet. You'll see up at the very top, $1,200,000. That is that 8 anticipation certificates that have been entered in there. They will be due on September 28th of this year. And just as a reminder, we've got that split up amongst the 4 banks in town. And then I'd like you to go down to where it says AAC repayment. That's the first place we go, kind of a negative. That really is, as Josh has stated before, a timing thing. We don't really go negative. It's just the timing of the payment and then the ideas fund. So again, nothing to worry about, but it does show a negative on there. Any questions on the cash flow worksheet? All right, on the actual attachment B, on the summaries, you know, everything is kind of standard here. If you go to the general fund, we're up the $255,000 in the general fund, but again, a timing thing and expenditures back and forth on that. The ed jobs is $106,000, and then the OPEB draw will be coming out of there as well. Okay. If we flip the sheet after that, do you guys have any specific questions on any of that? I can answer them if you have any. You good? Okay. A couple things to point out on the detail worksheet is the June 11th receipts at $821,000. Again, that's a one-time money, that Ed Jobs money. And again, you'll start seeing that on there for the last few times, but that's where you'll see ups and downs in the budget as well.
Wasn't that last year's?
What's that?
That 821?
Yep, and then you'll see it on the other side, the 2012, the 501,
Okay.
and that's the difference between the two. I like how Josh puts them side by side for you. I think one of you is the ones that requested that, and I like being able to see them side by side. It shows the differences. And then the other thing that we wanted to point out is down the bottom in food service, you've got a debt of $55,000 on the June 11, and this year you've got a $42,000. Again, that is just the timing of the ordering of the food and when we pay for things out of the co-op. Nothing to be concerned about, really just kind of a timing of receipts. But again, it shows you the difference between the two. And then we'll go to that cash activity over in community ed. The one thing that Josh wanted me to point out to you is that under the second square, under the fund, where am I at? It's got them all highlighted for me. He wanted me to point something out. Now I won't be able to. Under community ed.
Page 9.
Under community ed.
It wasn't this.
Why am I skipping it? Oh, there it is. I'm sorry. Apologize for that. Under community ed, he says that the 2012 expenses are not in the 2013, so the decrease is that what we were paying to Don Wetterin was $15,000. So again, he really wanted you to see that there was an expense last year that we won't see now, so that's where the reductions are coming from. Other than that, we didn't have to point out anything else unless you have specific questions, and I'll answer those now. It's a good time of year to compare last year to this year, but in the same breath, it really does depend on when timing of things come in, especially OPEB and some of those other things like that. From there, we'll go on to your attachment. Oh, wait, you need to do your thing, I suppose. If you want me to
What
do
other
the
attachments you got?
attachment D, the expenditures.
Yeah, we'll take care of that a little bit.
Okay.
A little bit farther down. Look for a motion to approve the finance.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Pat. Second by Rob. Did I miss something here?
He's been told to speak up instead of mumbling.
Yeah. Any other discussion? All in favor of the approval of the finance report, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is carried. I thought that was personal. I seem to be asking people to speak up frequently myself.
So you might want to turn the hearing aid down on that one side.
I will do my part. Speak louder. Towards the mic.
Having no old business, we'll jump down to the new business, the consent agenda. We've only got one item there. And if you want to refer to attachment C for the personnel items. Do you have any questions or concerns?
We do have one addition on there. We did have a late resignation from one of our science teachers. Again, you'll see an approval later on for that. But that
We'll
will
take
be-
care of that as its own
Yeah,
item. Huh?
exactly, but it will be a personnel item under high school.
Sure. Look for a motion to approve.
So I'll make a motion.
Motion by Pat, seconded by Jerry. Okay, Pat?
So then, Colleen and Eleanor are coming in.
Correct.
As okay, and I didn't understand the substitute para for return from leave. So is one coming back from leave and the other one is coming in? So it's so they're two different items. Colleen is coming in as a substitute.
But she's as a para. Eleanor's coming back in as for the bus department.
Okay.
You're right, it is kind of on a
It's
half
just-
line underneath.
Yeah, it's just kind of, they're not lined up, so that's fine. I just wanted to get a clarification on that a little bit, so, okay, sounds good.
And then we did have another resignation from the bus department too, but again, we'll put that on the next one. That's not on here yet. Didn't get the letter in time for the printing of this. So. I think the transportation department, we're going to be doing quite a bit of hiring. We've got quite a few people that are looking at changing things around a little bit, so you can look forward to that in your August meeting.
That may fit in with what we're trying to do then.
It may. We'll see.
Okay.
Any other discussion on this? All in favor of the approval of the consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is carried. Approval of the expenditures for June. You're back on.
Okay, I know you got this sent ahead of time. Josh was working this like 3 o'clock this morning, it looked like, when we got the email. So, if you have any specific questions, I can certainly go ahead and answer those. You'll see a lot of payments out. The HRA contribution, again, that's your retirees. Keep that in mind. That's that one-time payment we paid at the beginning of those 3 years. So that's a big one that's on there. A lot of final payments. If you look at, for example, in the middle, a big one is 37533 at Bond Trust Service Co-op. Those are final payments that needed to be paid off that we do at the end of every year. So, again, just keep that in mind.
I was looking at 37553, the water bill for July. And we paid 2 water bills. It looks like one on the 3rd of July and the one on the 23rd. One was $1,600 and the other one was $6,500.
It depends on, they're all coded, different buildings use different amounts. We can't have all of our water under one.
What do we use for the summer?
Dave?
Now, we've got 3 different, well, I shouldn't say 3 different meters here at the high school. We didn't have a meter at the time on the concession stand, now there is a meter. And then we replaced the meter on the sprinkling system out back, and then we've got the meter inside the building here, and then plus elementary school and community center, so it's water for the whole district, plus the bus garage, so
Okay.
it includes the whole district.
So I'm assuming this is for sprinkling probably the lawns because it was dry?
Oh, not all of it, but probably looking at half of it. And the other thing is that, that's going to mention later, but we had, after we had the storm that Sunday, then Buck called me up and we had blowing the main sprinkler line underneath the sprinkling shed out in the ball field there, so I have no idea how much.
Okay.
That was almost everything.
Yeah, 'cause that seems awfully high for 1 month.
Yeah.
Those are old lines out there, aren't they?
Yeah, partly, but the main line is older.
The one that broke, you're saying? Yeah.
Does the water grow good? Does the grass grow good? Does the water grow good? Water grew this tall.
A lot of other housekeeping
Three
issues,
balls in front
returns
of
for
them.
lunch and that kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of your classic July, paying the bills sort of thing.
Hey, Beth, what was Independent School District 917 and I guess his St.
What's
Louis
the
part?
number?
37565, 37566. What type of tuition is that for?
What number did you say?
375.
37565.
Oh, that's special education reimbursement to District 917.
And that is,
It's typically special ed services, but a lot of times it can be, we had a high school student for chemical.
oh, okay.
917 is an intermediate school
Yeah.
district, so
School district.
like
But
Lakeville, Farmington.
We code them through there. They get some extra counseling services and things like that. So it's a special ed.
That's where it goes in, okay.
Yep.
Could I ask about 37567, the High State Truck Center for the bus garage? Is that a standard one?
6-7. Oh, I-State is what you approved for those 4 buses that will continue
For
to
the
come
work,
in.
the repairs, okay.
I-State is the company that we approved.
Okay.
That will land about 16,000 when it's all done. They've done a nice job with starting. We did go ahead and close out one of the buses completely, took everything off of it, and got it for sale now for $800, just the skeleton of the bus. So we'll be lucky if we get
Live in
it.
it.
You could live in it, sure.
800, huh? Runs good?
No, we took everything off of it. Doesn't run
It's
at
a
all.
shell.
It's a shell.
No engine?
How about this, Beth?
Park it under your fridge.
37599, just reimbursement for the athletic training supplies. We pay Randolph for their supplies?
Correct. And then we do a co-op with Mayo and the trainer. Yep.
Okay, so this is just the supplies that go to Randolph, correct? The
Correct.
1187?
Yep.
Okay. Does Randolph pay anything at all for supplies? Or
Absolutely.
They do,
Yep.
okay.
Yep. And I'm not sure, 'cause I can get an answer for that. I'm not exactly sure how they break it down, but they do break it down.
Okay.
It's always been a great arrangement, to
Yep.
be honest.
Yep.
Yep.
Any other questions? If not, I'd look for a motion to approve the expenditures for June.
I'll make a motion to approve the expenditures for June.
I'll second.
Rob and Pat made the second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is carried. Approval of the 212, 213 dairy bids. Looks like we only got one.
That would be correct. And they are the ones that we're currently using. We've had 0 problems, great delivery times, very competitive. No one can beat their prices, so I don't think a lot of people like to compete with them, to be honest. So we are very pleased with their services.
Yeah, I was going to ask about, the reasons why nobody else
It's
did.
typically just because they know they're going to get outbid, and it puts time and effort into putting in a bid. And if they have to transport it even farther, typically a company that is close like this is going to have the better bid because transportation and fuel costs are what raise the prices. So, and they're keeping everything the same for us, so that's remarkable to have that. It's easier for Wendy to budget.
Very good.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by
I'll
Jerry,
second.
seconded by Brenda. Any other discussion?
Just out of curiosity, is that something when it's of value like this, do we have to go out for bids? Do we have to put it out for bids?
Yes, you always, anytime, yeah, you have to.
So we just had no other by bidding on this, is that correct?
Correct. Just something to point out, just so you kind of work on transparency and making sure we're always out there. Last year's bid for Hastings was 52.6, and they did come in at 54.7. So they did go over by almost $1,200. But again, our usage is up. We're feeding more breakfast. All of those type of things. So our revenue is also higher because of that.
That's wrong.
Something just to keep in mind.
This escalator clause gives them a little bit of
Absolutely. And really to be that close on your estimate is remarkable. So we're happy with it.
What's the flavored milk?
We have strawberry and vanilla flavored milk. And we do have some students that have a dairy, so we order some that are not,
No lactose?
no, is it lactose?
No,
Soy,
not
soy.
lactose.
It's like a soy milk, yeah. But we do offer vanilla and strawberry.
And
It's
no chocolate?
Yes, and
There's a whole thing of chocolate.
Yeah, chocolate's a big one. Vanilla and strawberry are not popular, but they are offered. You know, the thing is that it's the same amount of fat. It's our wellness committee has looked at it. It's getting kids to drink dairy, and we're very thrilled that they do. So if that's what it takes,
Right.
you know, we want to make sure we get some dairy in these kids. So
So, and the last question for me is, was there only then Hastings and Kemp's? Was there another company that didn't participate?
we offer it. We put it out like everything else. That all the other bids, it goes out to anyone that has ever bid in the state of Minnesota. These are the companies that typically do.
Okay.
This is very common for a lot of schools.
So I don't know if it would be interesting to list all those that you sent it out to that didn't respond.
Well, you can go to the MDE site. I mean, that's where you legally have to send that out to, and you can check.
Seems to me the first couple of years I was on the board, weren't we with Marigold out of Red Wing?
Or Rochester. yeah.
Rochester or something, yeah.
You can. There's very few that even offer school milk programs. So.
Okay, all in favor of the approval of the dairy bid to Hastings Co-op, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is carried.
So did you guys ever feed your cows strawberries to get that
Here's your daddy's cheese.
Item D, the bread bids. Attachment F, we have two, Sarah Lee, who's the incumbent, I guess, and Panagold, which we used a number of years ago for 3 months.
Pano Gold.
We're our only two bidders.
And again, just to point out, this time they came in, under their bid. And again, we fed just as many students and just as many meals. So
So is it-
that.
Go ahead.
That's what we like that if they come in under their bid. That's a good thing.
Is it based because the usage was down and the milk was because usage was up? That
it can be. I mean, we'd have to ask Wendy the specifics on that. But sometimes, they just. The big one is hard to guess how many kids are going to eat breakfast every year. We got a pretty good handle on who's going to eat lunch. Breakfast is just a really hit or miss. We now have Rotary that, we've got people having their meetings here for breakfast, so that increases if they take a milk. I mean, obviously they're paying that back, so your revenues are matching up with your expenditures, but the usage can kind of be all over. So it really depends a lot on who's using our facilities and things like that, too.
Nutrition-wise, quality-wise, both the same, apples to apples.
Very, very good. The biggest thing for the food, I know for Wendy, if she was here, she'd say, I need them to be on time, I need it to be fresh, and I need it to be something the kids will eat.
Mm-hmm.
And we have had no problems. So it's been very, very good.
a few years ago it used to be the issue of the local bakery, not even doing it anymore. Now you put it
Yeah,
in.
she didn't put a bid in again. It's hard to compete, I think, against these big companies. And yeah.
Well, I'll make a motion that we approve Sarah Lee.
I'll second the motion.
Motion by Pat, seconded by Rob. Further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is carried. The mission statement as presented by SPT, attachment G.
Well, I will talk a little bit about this when we get to my superintendent's report. I'm very, very excited. As you know, Kurt Beisel here has kind of encouraged us to look at a strategic plan for our district. And we've met a few times, and you'll notice the things on the back wall, and we've had some really great meetings. I think Kurt, maybe you can allude to that or not, but I think it's been very productive. It's been great conversation. And what came out of that, more importantly than anything, was a mission statement that matched where we wanted to go as a district. I think that was probably our number one goal, is to say, mission statements, of the past were kind of rambling and different. The wording was just, it didn't mean anything to anyone. And so what we really wanted was a mission statement that matched administrative, board, teachers, support staff. Could it be a mission statement that could be something for a school bus driver to say, this is important to us. And so what the group came up with was, Cannon Falls Public Schools, partnering with families and community, provides a nurturing, challenging, and inspiring environment to educate all individuals to be lifelong learners and responsible, productive citizens. And I think as you see the strategic plan come together, you're going to see why all that wording is important. We didn't want to be redundant. We didn't want it to not mean anything. It's very important to this group, but we want it to come from you if you support this mission statement so we can move forward with what we're working on.
Yeah, I would agree. If you look, if you have a chance to look at the wall, what this is basically on the wall is just the values that would flow into this. How does that fall into all of this? And this is going to be a little bit more specific, and that's why it's going to be a process. It's going to take time. That's why it takes several. It's a 3 to 5 year plan, to be honest with you. And I think that you
And I'm glad we're pacing it like that.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got a new elementary principal on board. We've got someone that's been here a couple of years wanting to fill in, and we've got the committee is a wide range of parents, support staff, teachers. It's just a great. The main thing is our mission, and do we all support it? And can we say it with confidence? Do we want to put it on our webpage and be proud of it? Do we want it on the calendars and be proud of it? We want people to start using it in their language versus, I got to go to the webpage and find out what our mission statement is. So that's, I thought, a good place to start. But we really want to make sure you guys can embrace it and feel good about it. So.
And this is something as a board too. I mean, if you have suggestions or if you're not comfortable with something, now is a good time as well.
Well, I think it's really good to involve the teachers and the community in the mission statement. I do think it's not that different than it was previously, maybe just more concise or worded a little differently, but I think we had a lot of these in the mission statement already, a lot of the same goals. Just have to say that.
Yep.
Can you, would anyone like to make a motion for
It's an
approval?
excellent mission statement.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
I'll second.
Motion by Pat, seconded by Brenda. Other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is carried. Approval of the resignation of David Klicka.
And Dave has chosen to, he does a lot of side things, and he has chosen to do that for right now. And he did get his letter of resignation in by July 1 by the cutoff in the contract. So it would be my recommendation to honor his request.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Jerry, seconded by Kurt. Any other discussion?
Just have one question. What if they go past the July 1st deadline?
It would be up to you to say, if you wanted to, you can start charging them. It can depend if it's a position that's going to be extremely hard to fill. As a history in this district, we've had an example of Spanish where we did not allow anyone out of their contract because we knew it was going to be virtually impossible to find a Spanish teacher. We try to work with the employee as much as we can. I would hope they'd know before July 1, but we have worked with them in the past, but we've also denied a few too. So it really is up to the board after July 1.
Just a thank you to Dave for his years of service. I'm not sure how long he's been here, but it's got to be 15 years, I would guess.
He's been, he very much likes being a science teacher, and the kids always kind of enjoy going to his class, so he will be missed.
He's an original.
Yes, he is.
Okay, all in favor of the approval of Dave Klicka's resignation, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is carried. Item G, that kind of piggybacks on that resignation.
Go to Tim on that one.
Sure.
After Mr. Klicka resigned, we posted the position right away. We had about 6 applicants, and of those, we had 3 that held the licensure that we were looking for. And we interviewed them the week before last, and we all were in agreement. There were, that Mr. Drucker would be a good fit, and we've had some communication issues because of me being gone on vacation, and he lives in Winona, but I think we've got it all taken care of now. So he'll be a good addition to our team up here at high school. So.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the hire of Matt Drucker.
I'll second.
Motion by Kurt, seconded by Pat. Further discussion? All in favor of Pat's hire, say aye, or Matt's, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is carried. Matt, welcome aboard. Approval to hire Lisa O'Brien for the K position 2012-13. Derek, would you like to speak to that?
Yeah. So Ann and I both kind of worked together on this one, and we posted it out there, and we ended up interviewing 4 very good candidates, all of which could have easily fit in there. We just felt that Lisa was a good fit considering where she was last year, being the kind of the opposite half-day kindergarten or every other day kindergarten spot. So we're excited to have her. I think she'll be a great addition. She should fit in well. So.
I make a motion to approve that hiring of Lisa O'Brien.
I'll second.
Motion by Brenda, seconded by Kurt. Any discussion?
Remind me what went on with the kindergarten positions again.
Right. What happened is Terry Townsend resigned, and what we did last year was made a cut in community education so that our SAC coordinators also teaching the every other day kindergarten Canon Kids program, and with that created an opening. What's really fortunate about their selection as well is Miss O'Brien was the only staff member that we had looked at as a reduction in staff. And to be able to put her in kindergarten, the position she was already teaching, is just kind of a blessing for everyone. So, the district did a nice job of cutting $440,000, but again, preserving staff.
Right.
And so I'm glad that she rose to be the best candidate for the position. It worked out really well for everybody. Yeah.
Thank you.
Bring up the fireball. Is
Okay. No further discussion. All in favor of the hire of Lisa O'Brien as our in the K position next year, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Nice to see Lisa back. Approval to hire Shari, don't help me, Baszuro for the 2012-2013 leave of absence nurse position.
Just as a reminder, Jessica Anderson has taken the year off to pursue her RN, leaving us with a hole. She was the only applicant that made the deadline. She has subbed for us. Strong recommendation to hire this candidate.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion by Pat, seconded by Jerry. Further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is carried. Approval of the CE budget for 2012-2013.
This is very similar. Jake's not here, but I will do this for him. Very similar to the budget I gave you last time, looking at our revenue and our expenditures and where the difference is at for this upcoming year. That does almost come on the nose of the reductions that you made in that department. So I'm very proud of Jake. He's done the budget all by himself. And it's funny when it comes on the sheet similar to mine. Mine is 42 pages. His is very similar, and it comes out like this. But I think this is what you need to see, and I think this is what makes it real. If you want any details, please let Jake know. He'll send you the entire document. But again, I thought he just did a fabulous job with a budget that was pretty much brand new to him. So he did a nice job.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
I lost my track here. Yes. One more time, Pat, your motion. Rob seconded. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is carried. On the very back page, we have our winter head coaches. We'd be looking to approve our head coaches as shown.
And this again comes from Jake. Wants to propose these as the head coaches.
There's no changes from last year, are there? No. Well, once again, I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Pat.
I'll second.
Seconded by Rob. Other discussion?
I have a little discussion.
Sure.
Being it's an election year and who knows if I'll be back or not. So those of you that are left next year, the girls basketball, my guess is going to be a tough year for them, to say the least. But when it comes around this time next year and you're looking for coaching, really none better than Eric. I'm just with the program as he's got to build that thing back up. So just be based on his record of this upcoming year, whatever it may or may not be, don't hang him out to dry because of it, because he has absolutely nothing to work with. So that's all. That's my 2 cents with it. Being around it as long as I was.
Okay. Okay, after that discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is carried. Clicking right along here, reports, board members. What do we have?
Summer.
It's July.
Hot and humid. Nice.
Okay, that's your one and only shot, guys. Committee reports, is it July still?
Those will resume in August.
Okay. Soup's report, FEMA, insurance, flood damage.
I do have a few updates. I hope that you feel like I've been as, keeping you updated as much as I can. Dave Davison and I have been attached to the hip, it seems like, at a lot of meetings. We did attend a big FEMA meeting down at City Hall. There were approximately 200 people there. Got some really great news that FEMA is going to come through with funding. What that means for us is our estimated cost between the ALC and the high school buildings, we're estimated about $172. A lot of the bids and quotes that Dave is getting are coming in a little bit higher than that. I thought he did a great job with estimates, the best that you can, especially working with insurance companies. You're kind of trying to use old information on things. So it's going to come in a little higher than that, but again, it looks really great because FEMA is going to cover those things. I have done the project worksheet that is quite detailed and involved that I need to get to the FEMA personnel. I've met with them. Dave Davison is accepting all the quotes and projects, and he's doing a really nice job of keeping our insurance company in the loop. I am still fighting that and winning a few of those as far as things that are either going to be denied or awarded. So I'm really excited about that I'm able to get a few of things covered through insurance. What's also nice is when FEMA comes in, and we were really happy to hear this, Dave and I both were, FEMA also has legal and insurance companies that come in and help you and say, nope, that's an insurance issue. So now we've got people that really understand the field and can say, FEMA's not covering that because that's an insurance issue. And it really has been great because the insurance company's like, oh, you're right. So it's really working out well to work with these people. And I don't know how you feel, Dave, but they have been just remarkable and very helpful. They return phone calls and emails, and things are going well. We do have two buildings, 1949 and 1954, and they actually do qualify for historical funding under some of them. So what that means is, and the way that they're explaining to me is, if there's brick damage and some other things that we want to preserve, we might be looking at that. We also are trying to go for, over the courtyard, some sort of preventive thing. But because this has only happened once, we're probably going to get denied on that. But it would be nice to have something that prevented this from ever happening again. But since there hasn't been problems in the past, it looks like I'm going to lose that one unless Dave's got something up his sleeve. Oh, he does. See, that's good. We qualify under Category E, which is public buildings and equipment. And we also under Category F, which is public utilities, which again is getting all of our electrical and everything Dave had on the roof is being covered under that. I'm sure he's going to get into maybe some more detail on that, but that's where we're covered. 75% of the funding will come from FEMA. The other 25% will come from the state. What's interesting about this is if you get federal money, say Dave puts in a bid or we get a bill and it's for $25,000. We get that money almost instantaneously, 4 to 5 days later. The 25% that comes from the state, I'm sure you're going to have this hard to believe, but we have to wait for that money.
And then they want 60%.
And then, we'll see where that all goes. But still, this is great news, and I got to tell you, I'm finally sleeping for the first time because I really did not know where we were going to come up with this money, and I just can't commend Dave enough for everything that he did and calming me down. And we knew we were going to make it through, but this meeting we went to, I think, really did put us both at ease. So we will be waiting on some of that money, but again, that's a cash flow thing. We're going to be okay. We've got a reserve that we can tap into knowing that we're going to get that money back. And it's not a 60-40 thing or anything like that. You really do get the funds back, so I'm not concerned. I'm working on a very detailed report, working with the insurance company. Dave is working on more of the reports that go along with FEMA and things like that. So again, I feel like we've got some really great teamwork going on. And basically that's where we're at on the flooding. Some really great news on all of that. But if you have any specifics.
We don't know exactly how much we're going to get yet, though, correct?
Well, we know we'll get everything that we just are moving forward. They have given us, I filled out the project worksheet. Okay. They came in, we've got the go-ahead, to already start working on everything. And Dave he thinks he's going to have everything up and going by August, early August. So
So there's a potential that this would.
Oh, no.
Paid for?
What's that?
There's a potential that this would be 100% covered?
It is 100. We
It
did
is.
get it. That's what I'm saying. It's great
Okay.
news. We got 100% coverage.
Is there a way to do any upgrades while doing this?
There really isn't. You have to be really careful about that, and you want to make sure, especially when you're dealing with federal and state, and that's why both Dave and I are being so meticulous on everything that we do. And thank goodness he's got record keeping and knows these companies. You have to prove that you're getting the best deal in bids and things like that. So
That being said, Dave, maybe you can answer, some of the stuff can be done by local people where they can put their bids in as well, or is it just something that's too big to handle or just not the right thing
Yeah,
for
pretty
that?
much I've gone out to basically the companies that we dealt with in the past for the last 12, 15 years. There are some local too
Okay.
and stuff like that. So, and when I get my report, I can let you know
Yep.
what.
So I'm really relieved. It's been an interesting process, and thanks to the Pine Island superintendent, they went through all that flooding 2 years ago, and he's just been remarkable at helping me, because this is not anything I think any superintendent goes through. I mean, the Moose Lake superintendent and I are best friends now. It's just that constant back and forth conversation. What are you doing on this? And that's been really good to have people to reach out to and help. And so I'm doing a little better now.
I'm sure Dave got a lot of sleep over this too.
I don't have a problem sleeping.
I do.
Anything else?
No. Well, I guess, the strategic plan committee has met. You saw that up there. And the last thing, I know you guys kind of always like an enrollment update, and our enrollment is been very, very steady. We are going to be picking up a bunch of kids at Little Oscar's restaurant next year, so we're kind of excited that we can have parents group their kids there and be able to pick them up. We're working on routes. We've had some, health things going on at the bus garage with our coordinator, and it's okay. Everyone's kind of picked up the slack, and we're able to get in there and get things done. We're working on routes. We are going to be down the one route. And so we're kind of trying to devise a plan with the close kids. We're still picking them up like you requested, but maybe dropping off some of the high school students because they can be here a little early, and then making that second swipe through. It would only be the 4 blocks. So we can still pick up our young kids that go down to Derrick that can't be unsupervised down there, but it allows them to all get released at the same time. So thanks to Joe at the bus garage, he's working really well on those. And I'm excited about the open enrollment kids that we're getting. It's just, again, I mean, if it was today, we're up 6. And I just can't get over, that's just a really great sign. Our ALC is at great numbers. So Canada Falls is doing a lot of things right. And, we don't know the final numbers. Lori always tells me not to get excited until August. And I won't get excited to August, but I like that parents call. I like that my principals give wonderful tours. And, I'm doing the tours as much as I can too. And we're selling the school all the time. They're on vacation in July, and they're both here all the time doing things for our community. So that's all I've got.
On the bus thing, I know you're talking about at one point sending out waivers. Is that still in the plan?
Yep, we'll send that out with the back-to-school letters and things like that. We're not, I don't want to count on it. So, it's going to be, we're not going to do a mass mailing for it because it's far too expensive. But when we send our back-to-school things, kids all get their routes anyway. And on the bottom of it, we'll have the line where you say, I waive the right to, have transportation for my kids this year. And then all that's going to do is it may not be a savings in the stop because they still have to drive by your house, but we can count on the numbers that way.
I'm looking at the seats.
Yeah.
And like the Hampton or the Little Oscars, is that going to be known somewhere, published somewhere, so if there are other parents who may have been hesitant but go, ooh,
No, as they continue to call in, if I get Hot Pockets and I keep them all on there, I let them know that. We really want to respect our neighbors, and I have a great relationship with the Hastings superintendent, so I don't want to start promoting things like that. I think him saying, yeah, you know what, I don't like to go over by 52 anyway, or something like that. I think if you start promoting it, you really cause bad neighbors, and I am really working hard on promoting good relationships between the two of us, so I'd like to keep it the way it is. The families contact me, they're going to call and see if they can get a bus ride anyway. So, and we do get, anytime a family moves to the neighborhood, they get our flyers. And so anytime I get a new address, I send them a little note, which I think is just, hey, welcome to our school if you want to come here. And sometimes they'll call, sometimes they don't. But I think that's a better way to do business than to put something in the paper saying, hey.
But
you
it
know.
was like coincidence or something, bus routes.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah, I think what we're doing is working. It's a great way to keep good relationships next door too.
Okay.
But thanks, great question.
Done?
Yep.
Okay. Head of operations.
Okay. Now, like I was telling Tim here, other than feeling like an ambidextrous octopus juggler lately here, but things are going well. Hopefully we continue that way. And like Beth was saying with FEMA, they've been great. And, it was a lot different experience than I expected. And the other thing is, they're there to help too. Like say, if you have problems that occur, like say if you had a road that washes out every time that it rains or whatever, you can show that to them and show them there's a way to fix it. And so you don't have to deal with it anymore, and they don't have to deal with it anymore. They're willing to fund those kind of things. So Beth and I are looking at the courtyard here. In my head, we've got 4 different plans drawn up, anywhere from $7,500 to $750,000. And it has happened a couple of times before where that has got flooded. It just didn't get to the extent that it did this last time. It's also an area that basically we can't use either. So looking at plans that, number one, get the water out of it. Number two, can we use it? I'd like to increase the use for science and stuff like that and be a bigger area for us to use. So working on that. The other thing working on is I met with Doug Geisber's the end of last week on the pond here, and then we called in the civil engineer on the project when we did the construction, Larson Engineering, and we met out here this morning. That's another area too that it might be to where we could get a little extra money to take care of that, just because, obviously you don't get 9 inches of rain in 5 hours that often, but I mean, so we're looking at redoing that. So later on this week I should get numbers from Eric and from Doug and stuff like that to see what's going on with the pond there. But man, that's a big wall going on. So as far as the community center and the high school and stuff like that, sheetrockery is going to start Wednesday, hopefully by the end of Friday. That'll be done. Sheetrocking stuff, I've got Cannon Construction that's doing that work. And then the following Monday, I've got the painters that did our painting during the construction here. They have the manpower and the tools to do that, so hopefully next Monday they're starting to paint things down there, and also next Tuesday then construction will be putting in the suspended ceilings down there. This Wednesday I've got Keen Crane coming back and deck level mechanical and stuff like that, and Comet. We got most of the ductwork back in. We got the new rooftop units up there, but we just got to do some work, so we're going to hopefully by the end of this week, and we got all of our new 6 units going down there and stuff. So, and then working on the carpet as far as in the IMC and stuff like that. I won't say any names right now, but the way it's looking right now, that's going to be a local vendor too that's going to be putting in the carpet there. And I checked my other vendors, and they're all within the range there, but I'm going to go local with that one. And let's see, signs we've been talking about for a while. They've been ordered, and that'll be the next 3 weeks that we'll see the signs on all the entryways and on the front fascia of our high school building, and the sign out by the field house and stuff. The other thing I'm looking into our parking lots, as far as I know they're new, but we're getting to the point now. Maintain them, we're going to start sealing them and crackling and stuff. That basically it's a soybean product that's sprayed on them rather than asphalt, because the state and everybody is they keep taking more and more away. far as asphalt. This stuff is basically after you do it, a half hour later you can drive on it, you're good to go again. So, but some of those areas are pretty spendy with it. My main priority right now, and I want to do before school, is I'm going to do the lower asphalt of the elementary playground area, and then probably seal the upper playground area. Those are the two priorities right now. And what we do over there should get us by another 5 years at least before we completely redo that. So, looking at that, say bird sheetrock, pond, paint, health and safety, that's all handed into the state and stuff. And I know there's other stuff.
Hey, Dean, just out of curiosity, that gym in the CCC, was that ever going to be able to sand it down, or what happened with that?
Yeah, I keep checking on it every day. Basically, when the water came in, it came in the door and just kind of went around the corner and went there. 2 days after, it looked pretty bad. It was cupped and stuff like that. A week later, it started looking really good, and I didn't know whether or not we got water underneath the floor or not, but that floor all the way around the edge, they keep the boards about a half inch away from the edge, and then they put in a cork filler, and that's got cork filler all the way around. And now as I see the spots, is exactly where the water laid, so that tells me really that it didn't go underneath. It was just the water sitting on it. And when I was down there today now, it's looking for good. I'm hoping, it's to the point where I'm hoping that when we screen the gym floor like we just did the high school one today, that'll knock off those edges and we'll be good to go. And that'd be a good thing because I figured that was going to cost at least $8,000. But through the prices and everything of everything that I've estimated through this and everything, I got kind of the ebb and flow thing going here, but basically right now I'm right on track of what we had. I'm hoping that we end up, 8,000 to 9,000 under, but you just never know. There's stuff that comes up. So right now we're on track to do that, but I'm thinking that the gym floor is going to be fine down there. So, and it'll help a lot at the end of this week when we get those 6 other units pumping in air conditioning and we can really condition the air. That's the other thing. It's like you want rain, well here's rain, and then they turn the faucet off and then all of a sudden you get all this heat and humidity. Nuts too, that's been kind of playing heck with us. But so far so good, so that's where we are with that.
How are we sitting out back as far as fertilization or lawn maintenance or care out there?
Well, we had a little bit of time there right after the storm there when that sprinkler line broke and stuff like that. And we were down for almost a week and a half, and it was looking pretty sick. It was looking like toast out there for a while, and then we started pumping the water to it. That's why you probably see a higher water bill. But we brought it back. We had a tournament out here on Saturday, Sunday here now. It does need fertilization, but the main thing is just, thing is the fertilization and stuff, depending if it's fertilization, if I do weed fill and stuff like that, then I gotta start posting things and stuff like that. But been talking to Bucky, and then Bruce is working on it, and I think after this week or so, baseball kind of gets done, and then we're looking at trying to make that healthy. Football field out there looks really nice right now, and that's coming along really good. We have to water that manually, but I mean, it's coming along real good. So
on the gym floor, that's going to be covered by FEMA, correct? Or not?
yeah. It's basically, hopefully, it's just going to be our time and stuff like that covered by FEMA.
Should we do more in-depth checking now, because in case something does go wrong in 6 months and then they won't cover it? Or will they still come back if we find that later on that
I don't think once they pay the bill, I don't think they're coming back. Basically, they pretty much said that
when you submit your
when you're
bill.
done with that,
The exit interview is.
because they basically have phone numbers that cancel out.
He did tell us that the cell phones after the X interview.
Don't try calling because
They
you ain't getting anybody.
Cut the
How do you get
phone.
those?
Hey, Dave,
Yeah.
just a question, when the water went through the roof up above in the CCC, do we know if there's any kind of damage where it's, kind of backtracked and went in any place where that might have caused any other issues?
Been watching that, and basically again, come through the roof, it came through the rooftop units, it came through there.
So it didn't do
And now that
anything
we've had the old rooftop units off and on twice, and able to see the roof and everything, I mean, especially with, I'll still have some more checking and stuff like that, I'll bring Squickers in to do that, because I want to change a couple of drains, but, with this heat and everything like that, if there would have been water underneath there, that thing would have been bubbling or alligatoring or whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
And I don't see any of that right now, so.
Okay. Principals reports. Derek?
Yeah, well, the only thing I'll report on is, we're still in the process of getting a music teacher in there. It's posted right now. We'll end that the 27th, and then we'll be interviewing the following week for sure. So we're trying to get it done. Hoping to get it done soon. That's about it.
Mr. Hodges?
It's really hot in St. Louis, just.
Ribs are good.
Yes. But whatever the famous custard place was, I didn't even get it in my hand before it was like a glass of milk. So it was really hot. The arch is something to experience once. Once is plenty.
I heard the fireworks are good because they do them underneath there.
Didn't see any fireworks, but a little ride and the claustrophobic little egg thing to the top.
Once is enough?
Once is plenty. Don't need to do that again.
Show me stadium.
It is.
They showed him. They showed him around the door.
They showed you.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, moving on, we have no CE report, we have no student report. Upcoming meeting next is August 27th. That'll be Beth's birthday, but she wants to keep it quiet.
I wanted to cancel the meeting.
And for that, you
It's
just
not
broadcast to 3 people. And down.
Yeah.
Upcoming items for that meeting, for our next meeting, would be the approval of the elementary music and some resignations, changes down at the...
Yep. We've got a few that are saying they're coming in, so we'll just wait and see where everything lands. Until I get them in my hand, I don't always.
You have what more resignation?
We may.
Oh. And a birthday.
Okay, public forum. Looks pretty weak tonight.
We'd like to introduce one of the Beacon writers, Olivia.
Hi, Olivia.
She's filling in and things like that, so that's Olivia. Be nice to her.
You do have an opportunity to speak,
I think I'm good.
and we're pleased. And we're pleased.
I have just one thing, if I can, before the end of the night.
You missed your point. It was board members earlier.
I'm still part of the public.
Yeah.
So I can speak at the public forum. We have 3 board members that are up for re-election. I just want to remind them that the filing period is, the 1st of August till like the 15th?
August 14th is the last
August
date of filing.
14th for the 3 of you.
Actually, it's open now till the 14th.
Okay.
It's already
It's open now?
I believe so. I sent it to you. The links.
Yeah, I know you did.
All right. Hint, 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 file. Hint, 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 file.
Remember your $2.
To read that email again.
Okay, I would look for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second that.
Motion by Jerry, seconded by Rob. Other discussion? All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.
So Pat's meeting